Hi, this is Amy from ULC Seminary, and today I'm here to talk about a subject that is near and dear to my heart. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. It is such a simple thing, and sometimes so incredibly hard to do. I'm sure a lot of you have an idea of what I'm talking about. The way I'm thinking about it, and I have been thinking about it a lot lately, there are three ways to forgive. You can work on forgiving others, you can work on forgiving yourself, and you can work on forgiving the Supreme Being. So let's start with forgiving others. Because, of course the first thing that we think about is, I was wronged, someone did it to me, he's a jerk, or she's a jerk, or they're jerks. People don't become that way right out of the box. It's not like a jerk in the box where you go, oh, surprise, hey, a jerk is born. No, people become that way because of pain in their life, something that happened to them, some poor programming, some bad experiences, etc., etc. And, of course, I believe take responsibility for your stuff. You make bad decisions, you're going to have a bad outcome in all likelihood. But this is more like recognizing and showing compassion for somebody else. That doesn't mean to let them keep abusing you. It doesn't mean to stay in a situation. It doesn't mean that you even have to have anything to do with them again. What it does mean is that you get to let go of the anger of what that person did. And I know that is so much easier said than done. Because my feeling about it is forgive when you're ready. You're not going to be able to forgive somebody. If you were abused your whole life in one way or another by somebody who's supposed to have cared for you, you're not going to just go, I forgive them. I'm being a good Christian, so I can forgive them. Really? I don't think that actually happens. Not quite like that. I think forgiveness comes in fits and starts and forward and backward in little bits and pieces. But you can move that along, just taking tiny little steps at a time. For instance, when you're driving and you see someone in front who cuts you off, first instinct is, that scared me. Rah, 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 you're a jerk. Rah, why aren't you paying attention? Rah. We've all done it. That's where road rage comes from. Well, take a look instead at saying, I have cut people off before. I don't think it was on purpose. Person probably just wasn't paying attention. Okay. I can forgive that person for doing that because I'm okay, everything's fine. Small things. When it's somebody who, like I mentioned in my previous example, who, if you've been abused and the person was, terrible to you, well, what I've been trying and seeing how it goes is telling myself as I'm driving along or sitting minding my own business or my mind is wandering for a minute, I'll say to somebody, so-and-so, I forgive you. I say it in my head. Sometimes I say it out loud just to hear myself say it and see how it sounds. And sometimes it's like, oh, no, I don't. No, I don't. So then I might just say, today I forgive you a little bit. Yeah, okay, that probably can work. My mind would accept that. If I just say, I flat out forgive you. No, I don't. I'm still angry. I'm still sad. I'm still whatever. It makes it easier when you recognize that other person has their own issues that have nothing to do with you. And frankly, most of the time when people do things to wrong you, it's got nothing to do with you. I know that's weird because you're the one who it happened to, and you're the one who has the experience and the effect of it, but really it had nothing to do with you. Their decision to do what they did happened long before you even came on in their awareness. They're just doing their thing. Recognizing that makes it easier. Again, that doesn't mean you have to have anything to do with that person, even if it's a parent or a sibling or whatever, whoever, you can not have anything to do with them, but still allow a little bit of forgiveness to come in. There have been some people who I felt wronged by, but you know what? That's their life experience that pushed them to that point. And sometimes I say it's more important, it's more important to have that relationship and look towards the positive than it is to be angry. Other times I say, well, I'm going to work on forgiveness at a distance. I'm going to allow you to be over there, away from me, and I will personally work on my own forgiveness. That's what I've been working on as far as forgiving people and forgiving experiences. Just basically just practicing and saying, I forgive you. I forgive you. I wish you well. And sometimes I don't mean it when I say it, but I keep practicing and eventually I will. So, forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself. Now, you might be thinking, first of all, if there wasn't any major thing you did wrong, is I didn't do anything wrong. What am I forgiving myself for? Well, you might be forgiving yourself for being angry. You might forgive yourself for overreacting a little. You might consider forgiving yourself for having a reaction. You might consider forgiving yourself for getting yourself in the situation in the first place. Remember, just as with others, you yourself, you are doing the best you can with what you have in the moment. When you know better, you do better. So allow yourself to have whatever your mistakes were. If you got in a relationship with somebody and you go, well, how could I have been so stupid to care about this person? I'll tell you, you never have to apologize for caring about somebody. It's always okay to care about somebody. Now, from that point, you might also say, okay, now it's time to extricate myself from the situation. But you don't have to apologize. Even if the person was an absolute dirtbag, it's okay. It's always okay. And you might not even understand why you were really caring. That's okay. It doesn't matter. You don't need to forgive yourself for that. Well, you don't need to apologize. You can forgive yourself, like as in let go of the anger about the situation. Think about everything that you get mad at yourself for and give yourself a little room, permission to have that be okay. And to say, well, all right, maybe that's not something that I like, I mean, for myself, I'm impatient. I'm impatient about so many things. But that's okay, because I have other qualities that are okay. And if I'm impatient, I'm going to let myself be okay with that. Doesn't mean I'm not going to strive to be more patient, to be the best that I can, but in the moment when I'm being impatient, sometimes a deep breath, yep, I'm sure being impatient, and then I kind of let it go. So, forgiving the Supreme Being, God, the deities, however you want to call it. Now, there's some people who might think, well, I can't be, how could I be angry at God for anything? People are angry at God all the time. That's how that works. People have something bad happen, they say, how could you have let that happen? How could you have taken him so early, or taken her, or how could you let a child die, or. There are so many things. Some people even get angry about smaller things. Why are you hating me right now? Why is my life falling apart? What did I do to deserve this? Well, you didn't do anything to deserve this. You may have made some bad decisions that might have contributed to it, but again, you did the best you could with what you had in the moment. Remember, if you can, that it is okay to be angry at God. God can take it. It's also okay to forgive. And some people, I've gotten the impression, think that they're too small to grant forgiveness to God. That somehow God doesn't care. Well, God cares. And also, you're holding on to it. So forgiving it just means letting it go. And the Supreme Being is always happy to have you be more loving to yourself. Always. That's what God wants. Supreme Being, whatever. You are designed to succeed. You are designed to be happy. You are designed to be at peace and full of love. And anything that gets in that way, it's okay for you to release that. And to forgive yourself. And to forgive others. And to forgive God. Totally okay. One step at a time. A little bit here, a little bit there. It all counts. I'm Amy from ULC Seminary, wishing you a wonderful day.